I know how complicated forming an LLC can be. I used to spend hours digging through state websites trying to figure out which forms to file and worrying I'd miss some key requirements. It was a lot to manage on my own and I wanted a simpler solution, but I also didn't really want to hire someone to sift through it all. So after doing a lot of research, I found LegalZoom, which claims to streamline the entire process of setting up an LLC by taking care of all the complicated steps. So I decided to give it a try and used it to create a couple of LLCs of my own. And today, I'm sharing my experience with LegalZoom, what stood out, what fell short, and how it compared against doing the filing myself. We're going to see how the platform guides you through everything from choosing your LLC name to getting your approved documents before putting it up against some similar options on the market. So stick around to find out whether LegalZoom could be the solution you need to take the hassle out of setting up your LLC. All right, so if you've never used LegalZoom, it's basically an all-in-one online legal service that helps you to handle a bunch of the stuff that you'd usually need a lawyer to manage, whether that's forming an LLC, filing a trademark, drafting contracts, or even getting quick legal advice when something comes up. It's designed to take care of all the paperwork that you'd otherwise have to figure out on your own. Now, I finally decided to try it out because I was honestly just done with the whole process of digging through state websites and trying to decode all of the legal jargon. I had 2 small projects lined up, a consulting side gig and a little hobby store, and I wanted to see how smoothly I could set up multiple LLCs without having to go through the whole process from scratch each time. Now, to get started, the first step is filling out a simple online questionnaire. Once you go to their website and pick the state where you want to register, there's no need to dig through state websites or try to decode filing rules. For example, as soon as I entered the business name I wanted, LegalZoom automatically checked if it was available. That one step saved me so much time, especially since I've manually searched state databases before, and it's just a pain. Next, it's time to set up all of your business details. You're gonna fill in info like who's gonna manage the LLC, whether you want LegalZoom to take care of your licenses and permits, and if you need legal protection for your business. I had them handle the EIN for my consulting LLC since I needed it for contracts and banking. But for my hobby store, I skipped it to save on cost. It was just a few clicks, and LegalZoom submitted everything to the IRS with no paperwork or wait times. Plus, it's also going to build your state required documents, including things like the articles of organization and an operating agreement. Based on your answers, LegalZoom's builder guides you through each section like ownership, voting rights, and profit distribution. And I appreciated how straightforward it really all was. I've tried generic templates before that left me confused or unsure whether I filled them out correctly, but this was much easier. And after that, if your state requires extra documentation like filing a DBA, then LegalZoom flags it for you. In my case, one of the LLCs required a DBA, and instead of researching how to handle it, I just had them take care of everything. It's honestly one of the best things about LegalZoom because you don't always know what documents to file. And if you end up missing a couple, then the whole process just gets slowed down. Now, once that's all done, you're gonna move on to the actual filing. And LegalZoom submits everything directly to the Secretary of State. One of my LLCs was approved in 3 business days, while the other took about a week. And after things were finalized, they uploaded all the documents to my dashboard, including the articles of organization, the operating agreement, and a digital welcome packet. And though the dashboard is helpful overall, I think the layout design could be a little bit more intuitive, but once you get used to it, it becomes easier to navigate, so no major issues there. But on that note, if you're facing any problems during the process, their support is very responsive, very easy to reach, and pretty helpful in my experience. It's honestly a huge relief to have access to an expert to talk to, since LLC documentation rarely goes smoothly. And all in all, the process wasn't flawless, but it was definitely more streamlined and way less frustrating than doing it all myself. Now, LegalZoom offers 3 main packages for forming an LLC, and the pricing is really going to depend on how much help you want throughout the process. So their basic plan is actually free. You're just going to need to cover your state filing fee, and this option takes care of the essentials like filing your articles of organization, running a name check to make sure your business name is available, and giving you a tax consultation through 1-800-ACCOUNTANT. So it's a solid option if you're just trying to get legally set up and keep things simple without any bells and whistles. Then their paid options start with the Pro plan, which goes for around $250 plus state fees. And honestly, this is the one that I'd recommend for most people because it adds a lot of value that really makes the process more thorough and efficient. For instance, you can get a custom operating agreement tailored to your state's rules, and it'll also handle your EIN filing directly with the IRS, which would cost about $80 if you do it separately. Plus, you get access to bookkeeping software for 3 months, unlimited e-signatures, over 150 legal document templates, and even a simple business website powered by Wix. So, if you're launching a full-fledged business and want a more polished setup from day one, this plan definitely hits the mark. Last up, there's a premium plan which costs around $300 plus state fees, and the major add-on here is access to a business attorney. You get unlimited 30-minute consultations for 30 days and help with making legal changes to your LLC documents. So, if you need professional legal advice, then this one is the one to choose. And if you want to try any of LegalZoom's plans for yourself, then you can get started by checking out the affiliate link in the description below, where we've got special deals that you won't find if you go directly to their website. All right, so like I mentioned, using LegalZoom definitely makes the whole LLC setup process much simpler and less stressful. Instead of dealing with state websites or trying to make sense of legal paperwork, LegalZoom walks you through everything with clear prompts. You just answer a few questions, and they handle the filings in the background. And once you submit your info, you don't have to follow up or double check anything, just a couple of email updates and you're good to go. Now, one thing I didn't expect to like as much as I did was the operating agreement builder, which guides you through simple questions based on how your business is set up. So even if you're not familiar with legal terms like member managed or capital contributions, it does explain them in a way that actually makes sense. And as far as the dashboard goes, I'd say it's very neatly designed and it doesn't make it feel like you're operating a spaceship. Everything was organized in one place: my state filings, downloadable PDFs, and anything else I might need later on. So when my bank did ask for the proof of registration, I had everything ready in seconds. And if you need extras like certified copies or a business license, you can just order them through the same portal without digging through government sites. Now, I also gave their legal guidance add-on a try to see if they really do a decent job. I booked 2 phone calls with a small business attorney to get some clarity around taxes and some compliance stuff, and the advice was actually pretty helpful. I even double-checked with my personal attorney, who reassured me that the feedback checked out. So their legal services are actually legit and not just a marketing stunt. That said, if you're only dealing with 1 or 2 questions, a full month of access might be more than you really need. All right, now, if you're still doing your research and shopping around for the right service, let's take a moment and see how LegalZoom compares with 2 other popular options, Zen Business and Taylor Brands. I've tried them both in the past, so here's a quick look at how they all stack up. So starting with Zen Business, what really makes them stand out was how smooth and beginner-friendly everything felt. The dashboard is very clean and easy to use, and they include registered agent service with their base package, which helps to keep things organized from day one. I also like that their support felt attentive but laid back. There wasn't ever a rush to end calls. Plus, they also send you compliance reminders, which takes the pressure off of having to keep deadlines straight on your own. The only thing that they're really missing is that added legal support. Now, as for Taylor Brands, I'd say it's more specialized towards branding than handling business documentation. A friend of mine used it for a project and really liked how it could launch an LLC while making a logo and a website all in one go, but the legal side is minimal. And while it can get the job done, it's not really built for anything beyond the basics. So the best option really just depends on what you're after. If you want an affordable, easy setup with helpful reminders, then Zen Business is great. Meanwhile, if branding and simplicity is your main focus, Taylor Brands could be a good pick as well. But if you're looking for something more comprehensive with trusted legal support and flexibility, then obviously LegalZoom is the way to go. So to wrap it all up, using LegalZoom to set up my LLCs went a lot smoother than I expected. It took a lot of the stress out of dealing with forms, state rules, and all of the stuff that usually makes setting up a business just feel overwhelming. So whether you're launching a small side hustle or something more long-term, I would definitely recommend giving LegalZoom a try. And that's all for this review. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, then please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more just like this. As a reminder, if you want to get started with LegalZoom for your LLC, then you can check them out by visiting the affiliate link in the description below and access special deals that you're not going to find if you go directly to their website. Now, as always, I enjoy hearing your thoughts, so go ahead and leave any questions or comments down below, and I'll try to get back to them as fast as I can. Finally, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.